Hey there, this is Dustin Dart. I'm the president of Ascent Sales International and best-selling author and sales trainer. And this is video number 2 about some of the major shifts that I made in my sales career that helped me become one of the top 1% of my industry and have a great, wonderful, amazing, prosperous, profitable, impactful sales career and helped me create a true love for sales. And I'm sharing some of these shifts that I made in my sales career with you in the hopes that I can help you make some of the same shifts as well. Now, in the last video, we spoke about your true potential, and we went through the exercise of the potential gap. How much more could you be selling than you are right now? And I shared with you my story, my personal story, about what was a catalyst that helped me to start thinking about what my true potential was and the regret that I felt that I hadn't tapped into that potential yet. If you haven't watched video number 1, highly suggest that you do so. You'll get to know my story of struggle, my story of when I had to look death in the face, and what happened because of that experience. Okay, so I'm going to continue on with the story. But before I do, I asked you a question in the last video of this series, and that was, number 1, how much more can you sell? How much more could you grow your business? And then second one was an invitation, basically, of making the decision to tap into your true potential. Now, once you make a true decision about that, you basically have 3 different paths that you can choose here. And that's what these little doodles here on the board represent. Not sure if you guys can really understand what these are right now, so I'll explain what they are because I'm not a very good artist, number 1, all right? But level 1, okay, when you make this decision, level 1, okay? Level 1 right here is this. You can basically choose to go down the paved road of life, all right? You can go down where it's comfortable. There's a few other cars going down there, and you're just doing what everybody else is doing, right? You can stay at level 1, okay? That's basically your comfort zone. Now, you might have some goals in mind, like, oh, I really want to go do good things in my sales career. I really want to make more money. I really want to make more impact in the world, but nothing's really concrete. And so you just head on down the paved road of life where everybody says you should be going, and that's where you end up, okay? That's level 1. I invite you to not be at level 1, all right? If you're watching this video, you don't belong in level 1. Okay, let's talk about level 2. Level 2 here, all right? Now, what this represents is more like a dirt road, all right? It's more like a dirt road. You're in the country and you're on a dirt road. There's not a lot of people there, all right? You've chosen to go down a path that a lot of people don't choose to because it's a little bit harder. It's dusty. It's rocky. When it rains, it gets really muddy. There's ruts in the road. Sometimes it can be a little bit dangerous. All right? You might get lost there. Okay? You might get lost on the dirt road. You don't know exactly where you're going, but guess what? It's a heck of a lot more adventurous. It's a lot more fulfilling than being stuck on the paved road in the concrete jungle where everybody knows where you're at, where everybody else is. Okay? This is for more of a rare breed. Okay, level 2. Where do you want to go? All right, let's talk about level 3. Okay, when you choose to make a change in your life or a change in your trajectory or a change in your desire for tapping into your true potential, you can go to level 3. And what this represents is going up to the mountain peak. Okay, actually, arms aren't going to be down. Erase that little guy. Okay, that represents climbing up the mountain peak. Okay? You know, a few years ago, we took a horse trip up in some mountains up in Wyoming. And We rode horses 15 miles inside the mountains, right? 15 miles to the closest road. And it was the most stunning scenery that you can possibly imagine. You are in the deep wilderness once you get out there, right? Once you get like 5 or 10 miles away from the closest road, you're in the deep wilderness, right? There's animals there. There were grizzly bears there. There's elk there. There's deer there. And they are just completely savage wild, right? Guess how many people we saw during the entire 2 weeks we were in those mountains? We saw maybe 3 or 4 other human beings in 2 weeks because nobody goes there. Although it's the most rewarding trip that I've ever been on. I had a connection with the earth and with nature that I've never dreamed possible. It was amazing. All right? That's what level 3 is going to be like. All right? Level 3 is where the glory is. Level 3 is going to the mountain peak. All right? Level 3 is when you tap into your true potential. And where the results come into your life that you never, ever dreamed or thought was possible before. I'm going to tell you a story about my own personal journey with this here in just a second. But let me just finish talking about level 3. You know going to the mountain peak, it's going to be hard, right? You think you know what it's going to take, but you really don't. Like there's no road there, right? There might be a trail here and there. You go around the bend, but guess what? There's a river. Now what you going to do? You got to figure out how to cross that river. But you've made that commitment, you made that decision, all right, to get to that mountain peak. That is where your glory is. And when you reach to this, think of the type of person that you have grown to be to reach that mountain peak. My invitation to you is make the decision to go to level 3. All right, now let me tell you the story here, and we'll talk about some of the big lessons here, okay? Now, soon after that experience that I had when I was 22 years old, and my life was threatened. I won't go into details because that's on video number 1, so if you haven't watched it, go back and watch it. But soon after, I started to think about how am I going to tap into my true potential? And so one of the things that I knew I needed to do was start to set some goals, okay, to increase my sales. And as I sat and pondered about goal setting, and I studied goal setting, something came to my mind, and that was this, is to not stay small. Okay? I didn't want to stay small. I didn't want to set a goal for my sales where I increased my sales by 10 or 15% per year. All right, that wasn't exciting to me. That was pretty bland. All right, that was like level 1, level 2, all right? That's what these represent. The level 1 goal, level 2 goal, or level 3 goal, all right? Let's erase that. Okay, so I didn't want to be linear growth. I wanted to be exponential growth. I wanted to be like crazy growth. And so this is my true story, and I share this with you to help you understand what could happen with you and how you can begin to tap into your true potential. And so I don't want you to think that I'm trying to make myself look amazing or make myself look awesome or any of that type of stuff. All right, I'm sharing this personal experience with you to show you what I went through and how it's possible what you could go through. Okay. So let's get that out of the way. All right, so when I went through that experience, I was an average sales rep, right? I was struggling here and there, but I was average, okay? I was at approximately $650,000 a year in sales. Now, for the industry that I was in, for the company that I was selling for, it was maybe a little bit better than average, okay? Maybe a little bit better than average. Now, I remember everybody saying, like all the other salespeople saying, the business owner saying, man, if you can get to $1 million a year, almost double what I was doing, okay? If you can get to $1 million a year in sales, like you are a sales stud. you are, you're just like a killer salesperson in this industry. And so I thought about that, like, well, okay, I knew a few people that were selling $1 million per year. I said, well, maybe I could make a goal this next year then to do $1 million a year. And I thought about that for a few days, all right? Maybe $1 million per year, all right? That's a pretty big leap from $650,000 per year. And I don't know what happened to me. I don't know. I can't remember exactly what inspired it, but this inspiration changed my life. And yeah, it just changed my life. And I don't know what inspired me. I don't know what hit me. I don't know what came into my head exactly. But I remember making this decision, okay? I'm not going to go for $1 million a year, right? I'm not going to go for $1 million a year. I want to go do something crazy, right? I want to go do something that's going to be like legendary or something, in my mind. And so for the next year, this is in December, and so for the next calendar year, I said, okay, I was at 650 for that year. I said, I want to go do $2 million per year. Okay? I didn't know anybody personally that did $2 million per year. I'm sure some other people in the industry were doing it, but people that worked with me in my sales team, the business owners that I had been working for, they never knew anybody that did $2 million. So I said, hey, you know what? Why don't I make a goal to do $2 million per year for my $650,000 and let's see what happens. Okay? I got to tell you something. Making a goal like that changed my entire life. It changed my trajectory of everything. Okay? Making that goal forced me to start thinking in new ways. It forced me to start looking for solutions to how I could get to $2 million in places that I never would have thought if I would have had the goal of $1 million, because it was such a stretch goal. Okay? It forced me to create beliefs in myself and what my potential truly was that I never would have had if I just made a smaller goal. Okay? It forced me to start studying sales success in a way that never would have happened if I would have made a smaller goal. It forced me to look and search for answers with mentors that changed my life forever. Okay? And it also forced me to start looking for opportunities and ways to acquire new clients that I never would have thought of before if my goal would have been smaller. Okay? That's still a big goal. $1 million is still a big goal, but it's nothing compared to $2 million. Now, this is the true story. I'm not embellishing this. This is truly what happened. That year that I made a $2 million goal, I ended up, and I'm telling you, it seemed as if some of these projects, some of these sales that came in, it almost seemed like they were miraculous. Okay, it was crazy. But I did that year I ended up $2.3 million. Okay, in 1 year, from being $650,000 in 1 year. Okay, not only did I double my sales, remember when we went through that exercise last video to double your sales? I didn't just double my sales, I more than tripled my sales. In fact, I dang near quadrupled my sales in 1 year. It was insanity. Like, the business owners were like, what is going on with you, Dustin? I can't believe you hit $2.3 million. Never been done before. Okay? Never been done before. And listen, I'm like a humble guy. Okay? I was raised to be humble. I was raised not to show off, all this type of stuff, but I became like a legend inside the sales office. All right? It's kind of uncomfortable for me, to be honest with you. All right? $2.3 million. Almost quadrupled my sales in 1 year. And that is the truth. Now, for a lot of people out there watching this video, like, wow, that's crazy. Maybe hard to believe. Let me just tell you the honest truth. That is a truth. That really, truly did happen. But it didn't stop there. Okay? It did not stop there. So what happened the next year is I said, hey, I'm digging this level 3 stuff. All right? Crazy things happen. I'm growing as a person that I never thought that I would. I'm making money like I never thought I'd make money. All right? So level 3 stuff's pretty awesome. So I made a goal for $3 million the next year. Right? Even though I did 2.3, it didn't seem like it was a crazy stretch goal, but $3 million when $1 million was like, you know, the stuff of dreams, well, made a $3 million goal. I went through the same process, growing, studying sales success, going to seminars, reading books, getting every single audio program that I could possibly imagine, searching out the best, just studying and just, you know what I mean? Being involved, being obsessed with it. And the next year, $3.2 million in sales. Okay? Achieved it and even a little bit more. Okay? Achieved it and a little bit more. All right? I don't want to get into the details. Next year, I said, I'm going to crush it. I'm going to make a $4 million goal. All right? It's going to be crazy. How can I get $4 million? We'll see what happens. Okay? We'll see what happens. It's amazing what happens when you make these goals. The next year, $4.2 million in sales. Okay? Crazy. But it was amazing. I mean, again, same process. Almost miraculous, it seemed like. Jobs and opportunities and things were flowing into my life. It was just insane. Okay? It was crazy. It was cool. Next year, I said, okay, let's see if this can work again. And I made a $6 million goal. Okay? $6 million goal. And I think by now you understand what's going to happen. All right? I was climbing this mountain peak. All right? I was doing things that nobody else was doing. I was being the type of person I never thought I was able to be. Okay? Money was flowing into my life like I never dreamed possible. I grew up a small kid in a small town, all right, where the biggest industries were farms and the oil field, all right? But it was crazy to me, all right? I was climbing this mountain peak. I was going for glory. I was going for my biggest true potential. And that year, $6.2 million in sales. Okay. At that point, at $6.2 million, you know, the top percentile of the top 1% of people in the entire industry that I was selling for. Right? People in that particular industry, they don't sell $6.2 million. I mean, if you're selling $1 million, you're good. If you're selling $2 million, you are top of the list. But 6.2, that rarely happens. But because of the decision I made, I got $6.2 million. So again, thinking about your potential, what can you do? Again, these numbers are not embellished one bit. Okay, this actually truly happened. All right. In a few short years, I want you to look at this. In a few short years, I pretty much 10x'd my sales. All right. Now, when I did that original introspection about what my true potential is, I'll be honest with you. Never thought that I could get to $6 million. I thought it was impossible. There was no way that it could happen. Didn't know anybody that had ever done it. The most sales that anybody I had seen was a little bit over $1 million. And so 6.2 honestly didn't cross my mind. It took me a few years to stretch into that, to grow into that. Okay? My first stretch, my first potential was $2 million. But in all honesty, it was 3 times bigger, $6 million. Okay? In sales. And so, from that point, became, the VP of sales for the company, and we grew. Like I told you, this gentleman I worked for had a $220 million company, and with hundreds of sales reps, and that's the trajectory my life took. And then I came into sales training. But I went through this exercise to help you understand when you make the decision, then you make your goal. Okay? And you get to choose which level you're going to be at. And depending on what you choose, it's up to you, is what I'm trying to tell you, okay? I want you to understand it's up to you, okay? It's not up to the market. It's not up to your sales manager. It's not up to your boss. It's not up to your wife or your husband or anybody else. It's up to you what you choose. Which level are you going to be playing at? Okay? And I'm telling you, if you go to level 3, your life's never going to be the same. Okay? So here's the big lesson. Here's the big lesson. First big lesson is this. My friend, go big. All right? Go big with what you're going to do. Go big with what you're going to do. And then here's the biggest lesson is, here's what I've come to understand and realize, all right? And that's this. For the most part, goals are BS. Okay? They're BS. Goals are BS. Every goal that I've made has usually failed. Okay? I want you to think about that. There's a distinction here that I want you to understand. A major distinction. Every failure that I've had in my life is because I lacked one thing, and one thing only. Okay? And I've tried a lot of different things in my life that I failed at. Okay? But I've lacked one thing, and that's why I failed. Okay? And that is this. I lacked commitment. Okay? I lacked commitment. So the big lesson here is commitment. Okay, I'm running out of room here. Okay? I think you guys can get it. Commitment. Okay? Now in my life, all right, I don't make goals. If I want to do something, I make commitments. And I commit. No matter what happens, I will achieve my goal. It will happen. I run that through my head all the time when I think about my commitments. Okay? Want to do something? I don't make a goal like, oh, maybe I'll get it. Maybe I won't. No. It's a commitment. This is going to happen. And by this date. Sometimes I might need to push the date out, but it's going to happen. It is a commitment. Okay? You make commitments. Because I can tell you this, and I'll end with this story. I'll end with this analogy, this example here. Okay? I can tell you this. On the road to the mountain peak, it's going to be a little bit dangerous. All right? You're going to encounter obstacles that you didn't know you're going to encounter. Okay? I can speak to this in a true sense here. Okay? Again, you're going to the mountain peak, you come around a bend, and guess what? There's a river right in front of you. You didn't know the river was there. And now what do you need to do to get to the mountain peak? Well, you can turn around and go home, or you figure out a way to cross the river. You get over the river, you keep climbing up, and then you get to the top, and you didn't see it, and there's this huge ravine, right? This huge chasm with steep cliffs. What do? Are you committed? Are you committed? If you're not committed, you can turn around and go home. That's fine. Okay? Go back to a level 2 or level 1. That's fine. But if you're committed, my friends, you figure out how to get down the ravine, cross the river again down the bottom of the ravine, and then climb back up. Okay? Yes, it is hard, but you grow. Okay? Then you keep going up the mountain path. Keep going up that mountain path. You're getting close to the top. After all these struggles, after all of these unforeseen events and trials and tribulations, You're committed. You're frantic almost. There's something inside you boiling that you're going to get to the top of the peak. And as you're getting close, it's starting to get dark outside. It's starting to get a little dark. You're starting to hear a few noises. Okay? You're starting to get a little scared. Okay? You're looking at the trees and you think you're seeing things up there, all alone in the wilderness. Who knows what could be out there? Okay? You come around a bend, and you look up in front of you, and they're standing before you, right in the middle of the pathway, is a huge, big, black wolf. And he's hungry. And he's angry. And he's looking at you like your dinner. Okay? Something like that's going to happen. What do you do at that moment? What do you do at that moment? I can tell you what. And this has happened to me a few times. Most people are going to turn around and run away. Okay? Most people are going to turn around and run away. But if you're truly committed, like level 10 commitment, okay, you're going to reach that peak and nothing is going to stop you. Here's what you do. You slay the wolf. You slay the wolf. That's the only way. You confront your fears in your trials and your tribulations head on, and you kill them. Okay? So you go and you kill the wolf. Okay? You might die. All right? You might die. You might get killed. But you're committed, my friend. Right? You're committed. That's what it's going to take to reach your true potential, is that level of commitment. You might die, but you're committed. And so you go and you slay the wolf. And it might hurt. Like the wolf's not going to die right away, right? You got a knife in your pocket and you're going to fight. And he's going to claw you. And he's going to bite you. Okay? There's going to be more tribulations and fears and trials and pain. But you slay the wolf. You finally slay it. And then from there, your pathway to the top is secure. But that is the level of commitment that it's going to take from you to get to the top. Okay? I don't want to tell you it's going to be easy. It's not. But I can tell you it will be worth it, my friend. It will be worth it. And I know that you can do it. I know that you can do it. What's it going to take for you to get to that top? As you know, we have a training coming up here soon. I want you to be there so that you can get the tools, the strategies, the learning, the skills that you need so that you can reach the top. Get the training you need to get to the top. All right? Don't go into the wilderness. Don't go on the mountain ignorant of what the mountain is. Don't go to the top of the mountain and start your trek without the proper training, because you're going to get killed. All right? And so my invitation to you is join us for this training. I'd love to have you there. All right? Now, as always, let me tell you this. My friend, I know that you can do it. I believe in you. I believe in you. I know that you can do it. If you have that desire right here and you've been watching this long video with me, you deserve to be there. I'm in your corner. I want to help you reach your goals as one that's been there and done that and understands what it's going to take and has the tools, the strategies ready for you. Okay? The next video we'll talk a little bit more about some of these strategies and these tools and how you can reach that mountain peak, my friend. All right? With that said, I want you to go and make it a great day. I want you to make this commitment to reach your potential and go to the mountain peak. All right? Go big or go home. Stay level 1 with everybody else, or go to level 3, my friend, and join the elite and join the few so that you can live in your potential for the rest of your life. You can do it. This is Dustin Dart with Ascent Sales International, and I cannot wait to meet you soon, and cannot wait to see you on the next video.